Okay, so we're exactly where we left off last time. And I think, yeah, so what we will do this time is probably we'll try and serve up a little HTML JavaScript from the stats route. And we won't bother trying to figure out what exactly it will do for now, but that'll then kind of serve as having kind of like completed the set of routes until we're ready to actually consume some stats. Great. And then I guess maybe after that I might write a little test script so that we don't have to continuously, hit web pages by hand or do whatever. I might just make a little kind of parallel curl or something like that, because I like trying to figure out how to do stuff with curl. It's always fun. I'd probably actually instrument this, if it was being done like rigorously, as some kind of like test suite over the Y application itself, since that could run nicely in a process without having to expose any ports or anything, maybe. Who knows? But that's much of a muchness. So let's have a look. How do you serve up HTML and JavaScript from Scotty? Now I could just kind of do a bunch of concatenated stuff like this, potentially. But maybe there's a better way. Is there any kind of like HTML, any JavaScript? I think we're already using this HTML. What exactly does it do? Oh, it just takes text. So maybe, what if, in the interest of saving time, I just make a file for that, and we will call it, we'll put it in like a resources folder, and then we'll call it stats.html, and then we can just write the JavaScript inline. So let's see if I've got anything installed in Vim that'll help me out here. I've got something. Ah, cool. So what do I want? I think I want HTML5. And then, oh, now we're cooking. Body maybe? I've got a body. And then H1. Nah, that one doesn't work. Or does it? It does. And then we'll say testing stats. Right. And then maybe we'll have a JavaScript where we will alert something. Oops. Well, that should be a very rigorous test. So let's go towards our source again. And can you read files with text? Probably not directly. You can't, so maybe it's in IO. Indeed it is. Read file. That will serve our purposes nicely, I think. And maybe we will also put this in the same little shorthand. That was a nice trick I learned, so you can do qualified imports to the same alias from different modules, which is good fun. So here, I don't need to do any mconcating anymore. I think we will just tl.read file resources stats, and then maybe that will work. Ah yes, of course not. Great. So yeah, we don't need a parameter, but what we might do is put that there, and then we'll call this, I don't know, page. Okay, lift IO. I assume we want to do lift IO. I can't quite remember, but I think it's in control.monad.io.class. See that? It is. Wow. So let's see if that works. So our route is going to be /stats. Let's serve it up. And then we will say, if we've still got our curl, 2 in slashes. There it is. So it comes back okay. And I assume if I hit this in the browser, there it is. We've got our lovely alert, and our lovely H1. So that, I think, has provides like not a bad little kind of set of base routes which we can then kind of ignore for a little while. We'll switch focus, but before we do, since we've only been going for about 5 minutes, what I might do is make a little script which we'll call it a stress test maybe. We'll just make that a shell file. So what have we got? We got this. Oh yeah, so I might make this, put this all into one file, but I'll do something a little bit funny and fun, which will be I guess what I want to do is I want to say kind of I want to call this script many times in parallel and randomly choose a route each time. Okay? That could be fun. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll just kind of wrap up all the different routes in functions, and I'll do it quietly, I guess. Actually, let's do it not quietly for now, and then that'll help us check that it's working. So what else have I got? I've got these ones. Now this is not probably how I'd go about this in a normal project, but for a quick little kind of high bang for buck session, it's not too bad. So yes, we'll have default, and we'll put that at default slash theme or whatever it was, doesn't matter. Then we'll have fast, and then we'll have slow, and I think we decided we want 100,000 for that. Then we'll have stats. Why not? Great. So then I guess what I want to do is kind of randomly switch between these various functions. How do we do that on invocation? Let's say bash random number. That can't be too bad. $random, looking pretty good. Yeah. Sounds pretty good. Let's try echoing that first. And then, oops. Looks reasonably random. Then I guess what we want to do probably is switch on that. Now how do you do a switch in Bash? This is looking pretty good. Although I guess we want to do a mod over our number of cases. So yeah, there's probably a better way to do this, but who cares? Let's just go how many are there? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for now. And then I think it will just be this. Thanks for beeping. And then our default will be an error. Error exit 1. Why not? Great. And then we'll just do stats, default, fast, slow. Oh, we got stats twice. That's better. Doesn't particularly matter about the order of these. So what's the problem here? Couldn't parse case statement. Ah, yes. Itzhak. I think that should be okay. It is. Great. We got an error because random is obviously too big. Now how do you do modulus in Bash? Is there a way? Oh, just as you would expect. That's excellent. Mod 4. There's no way that's going to work. It does not. Do I need spaces around it? I think for this arithmetic I want 2 parentheses and then spaces. Let's try that. Nope. What is wrong with that? Oh, missed the $sign. Okay. Great. It's looking pretty good. Obviously it's not running. Lost my directory. Screencast. So what I might do here is yeah. So really I kind of want to have a couple of options. So I want to do I'll just define this in a function. And then I want to kind of have my main entry point. So I'll do another case of $1 in, and then I'll say random. I'll just call it rand, and then main. And I guess we can have our default as well, which could serve as main potentially. And so what we'll do is, random is easy enough. We'll just say what we'll say is actually, you don't need to echo seek, do you? Let's just seek, I don't know, 1 to 100. We can change that later. Height xargs minus p for parallelism, I think. We'll do 5 threads, and then we'll do ourself rand. There's no way that's going to work. Let's try it. Well, it's doing something. I keep closing the window. Really should figure out how to make my terminal warn me about that. But yeah, only thing going wrong here is I think we want only one argument at a time, and then this is kind of like you know, not good form, but it should work okay. Right, we have our parallel test suite, enterprise grade parallel test suite, ready to go. I'll cut here again. I know I went a bit longer than I said I would, but I mean, you can skip that whole section on the test suite if that's not particularly interesting for you. I was really just kind of curious if this approach would work, but it seems pretty neat. And then I guess it's a bit late to tell you that now, but no big deal. Maybe I'll put a note in the email when I send through these videos. I'll see you again in a sec.